What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on also to get notified of all the latest content as and when it drops on the channel. So, unfortunately, very sad news. We're getting to this one that Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk for undisputed at heavyweight is officially off as we speak right now. Last night, I heard about this very late last night on a Ring IQ Live, where he quoted from a tweet which came from originally Steve Kim. Steve Kim quoted the manager of Alexander Usyk, who said that basically Usyk is sick and tired of making compromise after compromise for Tyson Fury. The demands are still coming thick and fast. He's still making ridiculous demands. Usyk can take this no more. Usyk has had enough of dancing to Tyson Fury's tune. So now that's it. They're stepping away from it. And that's what Krasuk said, Alexander Krasuk, who is Usyk's manager. And that quote came from a tweet, Steve Kim, last night. Now, on the more positive side of it, we did have Frank Warren and Alex Krasuk. They both came on TalkSport. I believe it was this morning around 11 or somewhere thereabouts, 11 or midday, something like that. I was able to watch it on YouTube, and Krasuk was sticking to his guns. He said, "Look, it goes even beyond me. Usyk himself is just sick and tired of Tyson Fury's demands." They said, well, what is he demanding? You had Jordan on there saying, look, what is he demanding? They were in Jim as well, I think. They were just asking him, look, give me one demand that he's making. Is it the rematch clause? Is it this? And Krasuk was just very tight-lipped. He said, I'm not going to give you any demands. Legally, I'm not sure that I can even do that. And even if I did try to give you his demands, I wouldn't have enough time. I would need at least 15 minutes to lay out all these demands from Tyson Fury, and they're all ridiculous. Why am I'm not doing that. My client is basically out of this thing, and that's it. We've had enough, and I'm not laying out his demands. He wants to, Usyk to be like a horse, and he just wants to ride him until his back breaks. And he made quite a few comments there about this, and there was no optimism there. It was just a case of, well, it's off. But Frank Warren came on TalkSport later, and he was he was very optimistic, which I don't know if that's going to save the fight, but when he came on, he was very optimistic. And they said to him, Frank, we hear that this fight is off. Usyk's team has told us it's off. Is that the case? Is this fight off? And Frank Warren said, I'm not coming here to tell you the fight's off. We're having difficulties in negotiations, but I'm not here telling you the fight's off. Maybe someone else, but I'm not. So Frank Warren was coming on as if like he didn't know that this fight is off. He said, all I've got is an email from Krasuk to say that we have done what we can. We're stepping away. This, enough is enough. Thank you for your efforts, guys. And Warren was kind of having none of it, really. He came on there and he said, no, all they've got to do is just compromise on a few points and we're good to go. And they kind of probed Frank Warren, and it seems to be that Usyk's problem is something to do with the rematch clause. And from what I gathered from these interviews, it seems to be a case of Usyk possibly wanting favorable treatment if he wins this fight, and then there's a rematch clause that Tyson Fury can activate. I think the problem is that he wants it in his favor. So let's say now the fight is all in Tyson Fury's favor. Fury's got the 70-30. Usyk is just getting a minimal split of the purse. He's getting what a mandatory could get, and he's getting that as a unified world champion. So obviously that to him will feel disrespectful, but he's taken that. And I think the idea is that Usyk, if he beats Tyson Fury, he wants the split in his favor when they come back to the table for the rematch. He wants to get that out of the way now, so that if he wins, when they have a rematch, he gets the favorable share, he gets the lion's share, which to me, I think is perfectly fair, especially as Tyson Fury wants to be mentioned in the same breath as Muhammad Ali, and he calls himself a sort of generational talent, an all-time great, and he believes he's up there with the best guys of all time. And he seems to be extremely confident of beating Alexander Usyk. So to me, if he's so confident, and this guy is just a middleweight, a guy that he can beat very, very easily, this will not be a difficult fight, this will be an easy task for him, well then I'd say just go ahead with it, Tyson. Take that unfavorable split in the rematch, because at the end of the day, you're going to punch right through this middleweight. You're going to knock this middleweight into next week. So therefore, I don't see what the problem is. You've got a massive split in your favor, 70% against a unified champion. That's massively in your favor. And not only that, in your head, if you're Tyson Fury, you're going to win this fight. You're going to wipe the floor with this guy. So essentially, even if it was 80-20 to Usyk, if Usyk wins this fight, the fact of the matter is, in your head, if you're Tyson Fury, that's not going to happen. You're going to walk through this guy. So it almost doesn't, it really doesn't matter whether Usyk has favorable treatment in a rematch, because you're going to walk through him, you're going to beat him up, you're going to knock him out. So it doesn't matter what he gets in a rematch, because he's going to get knocked out in this fight, and then there you go. That's going to be the end of it. So, the positive of this was both guys did get on the phone on TalkSport. Krasuk was very complimentary to Frank Warren. He even went as far as to say it's not Frank Warren's fault that this fight isn't happening. It's down to his fighter. He said everyone's trying to make this fight, but obviously the fighter, Tyson Fury, is the one making all these ridiculous demands. And Krasuk seemed to be more on the negative side. He said, look, my name, because they said, look, if you talk to Frank, could we work this out? And he said, look, my name is Alexander, but it's Alexander Krasuk, not Alexander Usyk. So therefore, I can't guarantee you anything here. But Frank Warren seemed to be way more on the positive side. And Warren said, look, Alexander, let's talk. We're not going to negotiate this over the radio, but let's go when we're off the radio. Let's have a conversation and let's try to save the fight. So that's where we stood after this TalkSport thing. Where it ended was you had Frank Warren sort of taking the bull by the horns, saying to Krasuk, look, I know what you're saying about the fight being off, but I still believe we can get this fight done. Let's negotiate. Let's do this off the radio. Let's do this off air. And let's have a conversation, sit down and try and make this fight happen. So in a way, I do have to say that I take my hat off to Frank Warren for that, because that's very positive. That shows that if he's genuine, if he's a man of his word, then that means that he really does want to make this fight happen. Of course, he can't make Tyson Fury take the fight. He can't make Tyson Fury do anything, but it was good to see that positivity there. Now, will something come out of this? I doubt it. I'm on the side of doubting that this fight is going to happen, but at least there's a positive side to it where Frank Warren was willing to come on and say, look, Alexander, I know you're not happy with the rematch. He was saying, Warren was kind of saying, oh, Fury deserves favorable treatment either way in the rematch, sort of win or lose. And he was erring on the side of Tyson Fury, saying, look, Tyson Fury deserves favorable treatment because he's the big draw, he's the big money, he's this, he's that. So in a rematch, he still deserves favorable treatment, which that shows you probably where the sticking point is. But at the very least, he was willing to go off and talk to Krasuk and still try to save this fight at 11th hour. But let me know what you think of this. Usyk versus Fury is effectively off, but Frank Warren, I think they gave a deadline of about a day or two for him and Krasuk to sort of come up with something to save this fight. So let me know about this. What do you think? Are you optimistic about the fight still happening, or do you, like most of the rest of the world, including myself, think that this fight is effectively off? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out.